Good afternoon. This is James Grady live with Out Voices, and I'm here today with Del Shores and Emerson Collins, and we're here to talk about an event that's coming up in a couple of weeks that is a fundraiser for the Del Shores Foundation. It's the 20th anniversary of Southern Baptist Sissies, and we're going to be having a live stream reading of the play. Thanks, guys, for joining us.
Hi,
Thank you
James.
for
Thank
having
you
us.
so
Good to
much
see
for
you.
having us. It's not a reading of the play.
It's
We
not.
decided, what Southern Baptist Sissies, as I hope many of the audience knows, ends dramatically and heavily. And we decided that wasn't the best way to ask people for money for Dell's new foundation. So
Okay.
we're going to show clips and have huge interviews and live performances as a celebration.
Yeah, so we're basically celebrating the journey of Sissies, and we're going all the way back to the original production. We got several of the original cast back for this, and we got the entire film cast, every single one of them, including Del Dickey, Leslie Jordan, Ann Walker, Bobby Eakes, Newell Rosemary Alexander, and all the Sissies, including Emerson Collins.
So, I guess we're doing it USO style show instead of a reading. It's all still a little too real sometimes. I think I read somewhere, Dell, that you talked about how you didn't know whether this would have the staying power because you hoped that society would have caught up beyond it, but it hasn't turned out that way.
Not exactly. I mean, there is some progress I feel that we have made, and we were able to celebrate that with a very sorted wedding with people who have had family members who are gay, or your son, like Latrell's son and Sissy's nephew, and they started doing research on their gay family's behalf, and then challenged the church. And I think we need more of that. But I still, to this day, I still get more letters from troubled mostly young people, sometimes older people who are still healing from the PTSD of the church that. As they sat in those pews. And so, yeah, I always said, I wish it would become history. I wish this would become a period piece, if you will, but it hasn't really.
So tell me a little bit about the Del Shores Foundation. This is the second fundraiser that you've got kind of done since the COVID period started.
Well, the great thing about us now is when we did the fundraiser last year, we did it just for theaters. It was 100%. All the proceeds were going to the theaters, and we just pushed pause on the foundation because we have every year we're going to have an event where we celebrate storytellers from the South, queer storytellers, and we want to help them get their stories told. So we are having a contest of screenwriting, playwriting, and short films. And all of those finalists get to come and have workshops with professionals. And that's going to be coming up in 2022. So now this event is a 50-50 split. We're also still helping our theater partners who a lot of them have been hit very, very hard, and a lot right there in Tennessee. I mean, some of our partners are Knoxville. We have Knoxville, one of the theaters there, and then we have Dark Horse Theater,
Of course, yeah.
and well, it's KB Productions. Is that
KB Productions, yeah.
yeah, that performs at the Dark Horse. So yeah, we're excited to finally be doing what we uh, are supposed to be doing with the Del Shores Foundation.
Because we set out to start in 2019 and we did all of the groundwork and the legwork, and we were prepping to launch programming for the first time right as the pandemic hit. And of course, we didn't want to be raising funds for arts organizations while existing arts organizations struggled so much. And we were able to send over $3,000 to 26 nonprofit theaters as a result of the sorted live stream. And now we're really excited that the Del Shores Foundation Writer Search is officially open. The first programming is happening, open to LGBTQ plus people who live in the southern 15 states. Submissions are open through the end of the year. And in addition to the cash awards to the screenwriters, Del and I talked so much about the challenges in his work, in our work together, and getting you from the I've written something phase to the it's made in the world phase is the hardest part. And so the piece I'm most excited about is, yes, the writers get a cash award and they win, but we're also creating grants for the production of the work. So along with playwriting, we're creating a $10,000 grant to the first professional theater that produces the winning play to get it onto a stage. A $2,000 grant to the budget of the producer of the short film. And then the winning screenplay writer, we will fly them out to Los Angeles to meet with production companies about their script. We've always found the hardest part is getting to the like it's on its feet. And we're really proud that that's a very unique thing we're doing compared to a lot of writing competitions.
Absolutely. I mean, especially for a lot of small independent theaters, $10,000 is quite a grant, quite a boost.
Well, I was talking to one of our partners, and I said, "Would 10,000 help?" She said, "10,000 is more than most of the budgets for my place." So we feel that we are going to. We're going to make a difference in getting not only for the theaters to do wonderful LGBT, not necessarily. We don't necessarily say that the topics or the themes of the plays or the screenplays have to be LGBTQ, but they have to be written by someone who identifies as LGBTQ.
Because the point of the foundation's work is to uplift LGBTQ or queer writers and whatever story they want to tell. Our focus is the writer, not the writing. In what we're celebrating, people that were like Dell as a sissy in Texas. There's people staying there. That bi kid in Alabama, the trans woman in Georgia, that telling whatever story they have to tell, but ensuring our community's writers are lifted up and pushed forward.
Yeah, I think that's important because people do sort of have this thought that LGBTQ means that the content has to be permeated with it from beginning to end, and we have lots of thoughts.
Yeah.
We have lots of stories, but let's be honest. There's a little bit of gay in most of my screenplays and most of my plays. So even when they're like Trailer Trash Housewife, that's a straight play. But Raylene did talk about a lesbian experience.
Well, I mean, if we're being honest, many straight plays by straight authors have a lot of gay content in them.
Yeah,
Sure.
But if the burning desire of a short film LGBTQ writer is about the kicker on a football team, tell your story. Of course, my mind goes to right. It's like a chorus line kicker, and I make it gay, but they don't have to.
But James, also one thing that we have done, and because Emerson and I have had relationships with so many theaters with our work, and because of my plays, and also because of the screenplays that we have produced together, and Emerson has starred in a bunch of them. We also have great relationships with some of the film festivals. So we have a huge partnership with film festivals who will look at all of the entries that we send their way. They've all agreed to do that. So we're really reaching out to those people, not just us, who can make a difference in these writers and these storytellers. I like to call them storytellers. You know that. You know me.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's also possible then that strong stories that don't quite make number one may still get exposure through this contest.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And the foundation, this is our first year, but we have plans to building mentorship programs, writers retreats. We're excited to start with this online competition, expand to the festival, and then keep expanding the reach and the networking, because that's ultimately what arts production becomes about. It's the people who you can ask as we all build these tents together.
What inspired the idea for the foundation itself?
Well, we have a great one of our partners in the foundation is Stuart Bell, and Stuart came to Emerson and myself, and he said, there are a lot of people out there like you were who don't have the opportunity that you've had. And I started thinking about it, and it was at first it was just kind of that we were circling these ideas and what is this and what is it, but we always wanted to do what people had done for me. When I first started, if I didn't have Rosemary and Newell Alexander in my camp, if I didn't have, Sherry Landrum, who directed my first two plays, and Rex Knowles, who said, "Hey, if you'll raise $4,000, I'll produce this for you." A lot of people just have no access to that, and they don't have that side of the brain that my good buddy Emerson has, where you go, this is how you do it. So Stuart came to us, and we just started sort of circling and figuring it out and fine-tuning it. And then we went after an amazing board. We have such a great board, and an honorary board as well.
And we have an amazing new executive director, Allison Bergman, who's guiding our ship now. But in speaking of our relationships, and getting back to the fundraiser, even, I only know Dell because I did a production of Southern Baptist Sissies in Dallas, Texas, with Uptown Players, now one of the preeminent regional gay-focused theater companies that he flew in to see. That's how I ended up in Los Angeles to then do Sissies, then do the tour that we produced together, to then make the movie that's a hybrid of the film of the play to bring us to this fundraiser. All of the work and all of the relationships connect together.
And then right after this fundraiser, Emerson and I are getting in our cars, and I'm loading up my three little bitches, and we're driving to Dallas. It's kind of full circle. Emerson starring, and I'm directing on Uptown Stage at Kalita Humphreys, A Very Sordid Wedding, the world premiere that was supposed to premiere August 2020, but something happened.
Things happen. Yeah. Oh, and for those people in the audience who may not be social media followers, the three little bitches are dogs. So
yes, oh yeah,
they are chihuahuas.
They are chihuahuas. They're very
I know. After watching Game of Thrones, that could go a different way.
How can people watch the show and see the clips and things and also donate?
So the live stream will be Sunday, August 22nd, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, streaming live to the Del Shores Foundation YouTube page. That link is already there. If you go, you can set a reminder. And then a week before the broadcast, it'll be live to go on Dell's Facebook page, the Foundation's Facebook page, and it's free. There's no cost. All of the wishes and donations are what people can afford, but we believe in sharing, widely as possible. To see all of these people. And you can go to delshoresfoundation.org. The entry for the writer search is there. All of the eligibility and information is there, along with the links to the live stream.
And if you follow either one of us on social media, you're just going to get bombarded. So we will let you know. And the great thing is, at the moment that we started talking about this and letting people know about it, the donations already started coming in. And so we are just thrilled that it started as a pandemic kind of response with the theaters, but we're going to make this an annual thing where we get to help small theaters, because neither one of us would have a career if it weren't for theater. That's where we can trace everything that we've ever done right back to the theater.
Well, I know you guys have some pretty wild fans for the Sordid Universe and all that, and I know last year you dug through your closet and pulled out a few items. Is there going to be any memorabilia available this year?
I don't, it's I don't have much left. I really don't, but we will have a few things that we're going to toss out there on the live. I know we have a bunch of masks, Sordid Lives masks left over from an event. So we'll go, hey, who's going to get $25 for this mask? I mean, we're going to do everything we can to raise as much money as we can.
That's great. Awesome, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us and talking about the program and about the foundation. And we look forward to seeing this year's program and hearing about who's going to get that great grant this year.
Yeah. Thank you so much, James. Always a pleasure to hang out with you.
We appreciate it.